Hey guys, so I just want to talk a little bit about how I spend my time as raid leader, particularly how I spend my time outside of raids as raid leader. So one of the things I look at, I try to keep up on, is trying to figure out as much information as I can about about various boss fights. So one of the things that actually had me interested, because there's been a lot of debate about stacking fire resist on Firemaw, how effective it is, how useful it is, and we're going to talk about how likely it is to actually have stacks fall off. So I picked a Firemaw fight, I think at random. This one came from June 18th, and I was actually curious as to how often the flame buffets came up. I hadn't really thought much about it before. So I went onto Warcraft logs. Usually it's tables and it's friendly, and it starts off with this summary. You can see damage and things like that. And so I changed it to cast, I changed it to events, and I changed it to enemies. Now there was a bunch of stuff here that was kind of a lot, and I'm like, alright, I mostly am interested in Flame Buffet, so I changed it to Flame Buffet. So one of the things I did was I took all these times, and I actually put them onto a spreadsheet. Left it in seconds, so when it says like a minute 8, it's 68 seconds, things like that. So these are all the times, and then I did just a formula, basically this row minus the one above it, so it gave me the interval between them. I guess I can put this one on there, since technically this is from 0 to that happens. So I add all of these, so I wanted to see the interval in between, and trust me, it's not constant. The maximum interval was 6 seconds between a flame buffet. The minimum was 1.18 seconds, so these can come up pretty quickly. Now I'm going to kind of focus on the average, 2.63, and this is just from this fight. I also noticed that this is a skewed right graph, which means that the more likely values come from around here. So I'm actually guessing this is meant to be around 3 seconds. I'm sure if I actually took more Firemaw fights, they would start getting closer to 3 seconds, or it might even start getting closer to 2.5 seconds. So I'm going to use my average that I got from this particular fight, and let's see what the likelihood of a Flame Buffet falling off. So once you get one stack, it takes 20 seconds. So I'm going to do 20 seconds divided by that 2, just click here. So essentially 7.6. Realistically, I'd have to resist Flame Buffet 8 times. Okay? Considering it is kind of a range here, we'll say that it's probably anywhere between 6 and 8 times it's probably any interval between 6 and 8 is probably what's more realistic. I have to resist Flame Buffet 6 to 8 times. Now, even at max fire resist, which is 315, you have a 75% chance to resist it once. So if I have to resist 6 times, 0.75 to the 6th power means I have about an 18% chance to resist that many times in a row to get my stacks to completely fall off. And for 8 means I have about a 10% chance. Okay, so you can see even stacking fire resist, it's still not that likely that my stacks will fully fall off. But on the other hand, it's not like I should just give up on that fire resist, because it does help me resist individual stacks. So if you look at this, with no fire resist, I would be stacking stacks every almost 2.5 seconds. It would take less than a minute to be at 20 stacks. which I haven't been to 20 stacks in a very, very long time. I think since stacking fire resist, I've actually been to 20 stacks once. It's just not that likely. So what happens is that essentially I'll resist about 3 out of 4 of them. So it'll be like these ones don't exist. So just to give you an idea, I'm just gonna, and this isn't perfect. This is just kind of an idea of what it would look like to resist 3 out of 4. That means by the end of this fight, I would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So even if my stacks didn't reset, there's still a good chance I would have only probably gotten to maybe 12 stacks, 13, 14, 15. So it still does help to keep my stacks low, even if I'm not completely having them fall off. Okay, not to mention the fire resist also reduces the damage I take from each of those individual fire attacks. So just to throw this out there for those of you who are kind of interested in like in stacking fire resist and what that looks like, what effect it has, this is it. Okay, and this is just kind of one of the things I do on my time in between raids, just to keep myself as effective as a raid leader as I can.